The morning sun poured over Crestwood University like it was made for him. Ethan Cole jogged across the quad, earbuds in, golden light brushing his shoulders as students turned to watch. He waved effortlessly, his grin timed perfectly between casual and cinematic. To everyone, he was the symbol of everything right about campus life. Ambition, charm, success. Posters with his face hung in the student center. His social media highlight reel played on the dining hall screens. But behind his confident gaze, there was calculation. Each laugh, each handshake, every word. Rehearsed, measured, a performance refined to perfection. When the crowd thinned, his smile dimmed, replaced by a quiet stare that lingered too long on others, as if watching life from behind an invisible lens. At noon, Ethan stood before a crowd at the student plaza, microphone in hand, every word polished and magnetic. He spoke about leadership, about integrity, about building a community where everyone felt seen. And they believed him. Cameras clicked. Applause rose. Behind the applause, Miahan watched from the back, camera poised but expression unreadable. She saw what others didn't. The delay between his smile and his eyes, the faint tension in his jaw each time someone mentioned honesty. To her, he was a headline waiting to happen, though she didn't yet know why. Later, inside the media lab, Ethan leaned over an editing bay, scanning through highlight clips with a producer's precision. His charm persisted even in solitude, a performance for the invisible audience in his head. When a knock sounded, he minimized a window so fast it seemed instinctive. Jordan stepped in with his usual grin, tossing him a soda. "Man, you're a machine," he laughed. Ethan smiled, the screen's glow reflecting in his eyes. "Just keeping things perfect," he replied. Jordan didn't notice the external hard drive slipping quietly into Ethan's backpack. That evening, the dorm hall buzzed with the easy rhythm of college life. Laughter, music, faint echoes of a guitar down the corridor. Ethan sat alone in his room, the door locked. His laptop screen glowed against his face as he scrolled through a list of video files, labeled only by numbers and dates. His smile was different now. Colder, private, almost tender. He adjusted his headphones, leaned closer, and pressed play. Outside, students laughed freely, unaware that the golden boy among them was recording their world from angles they'd never chosen to show. Hours later, the campus was still. Ethan closed the laptop, exhaling slowly. For a moment, he looked almost guilty, like a man who had glimpsed something sacred he shouldn't have. Then his phone buzzed. Notifications, likes, new followers. The smile returned. He leaned back, bathed in the artificial glow of his own curated perfection. Somewhere, deep in the shadows of his files, the first trace of his downfall waited, unseen, recording. The media lab hummed softly under fluorescent lights. Mia Han, 20 years old, leaned over her editing console, piecing together a highlight reel for the university's social feed. Her reflection shimmered faintly in the monitor, tired eyes, cropped dark hair framing her focused face. She clicked through folders in search of last week's footage from the basketball event. Then, by accident, she opened a directory labeled Archive. Inside, dozens of video thumbnails flickered to life. Grainy images from dorm hallways, locker rooms, and bedrooms. She froze. The time codes were familiar. They were from the same nights Ethan uploaded his motivational vlogs. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the blinds, but Mia's mind stayed locked in the night before. She replayed one clip, a dorm corridor, dim and private. A camera hidden near the ceiling captured students walking by, unaware. Her heartbeat echoed with the flicker of every frame. She pressed pause on one video, zooming in on a reflection, a blurred figure adjusting something on the wall. Blonde hair, athletic build. Ethan, The screen seemed to breathe with her as her certainty hardened into fear. She tried to dismiss it, telling herself it couldn't be him. But the evidence grew impossible to ignore. In the campus coffee shop, Ethan appeared on TV again, giving another speech about digital responsibility. Maya's stomach twisted at the irony. From across the cafe, she watched him greet admirers with that flawless smile, the same one from his highlight reels. And from those recordings, he waved toward her, casually, not knowing that her gaze had shifted from admiration to quiet accusation. Back in the media lab, Maya's hands trembled as she copied the videos to a private drive. Her instincts screamed that this was dangerous, but the journalist in her couldn't walk away. She opened one more clip. The locker room. A camera hidden in a vent, angled downward. The footage was silent except for the faint hum of air conditioning. She watched Ethan enter, his expression unreadable, gaze fixed straight into the hidden lens, as if he knew exactly where it was. She stopped breathing. When Mia finally stepped outside, the campus felt different. Quieter, almost staged. Students laughed, but it sounded distant, hollow. She carried the flash drive in her pocket like it burned. Every banner with Ethan's smiling face now looked like a lie. Passing by the bulletin board, she caught her own reflection in the glass and wondered if she was about to destroy someone, or save everyone else. Rain slicked the campus in silver that morning. Mia sat beneath the media lab's wide window, headphones on, her eyes darting across timestamps. Each new clip she uncovered formed a web that led back to one source, Ethan's editing bay. Every file bore his precision. Steady angles, clean frames, a voyeur's perfection. She mapped the footage locations on a campus floor plan, tracing red circles around the places he'd watched most. With every mark, the image of Ethan as the perfect leader decayed further, revealing something colder, control disguised as charm. Across campus, Ethan's laughter echoed through the gym as cameras clicked for the university's promotional shoot. He still performed flawlessly, the easy smile, the confident stance. Yet, beneath the lights, he felt the unease of being seen differently, as if 1,000 hidden lenses now stared back. Between takes, his gaze wandered toward the mezzanine where Mia stood quietly, with her camera, her expression unreadable. He waved. She didn't. That night, Ethan returned to his dorm. The glow of his laptop painted the walls in shifting light. He opened his archive folder, but the files weren't there. Empty. His fingers hovered, then tightened around the mouse. He opened backups, drives, checked timestamps. Gone. For the first time, his composure cracked. Somewhere in the building, he could hear faint laughter through the vents, distant and human. He turned off the screen, staring into the dark, heart pounding to the rhythm of fear he'd never known. Meanwhile, Mia met with Professor Adler in his small office lined with worn books and half-drawn blinds. She didn't show him the footage yet, only told him what she'd found. His reaction was controlled, his voice deliberate. "If this is true, Mia, you're sitting on the kind of truth that can destroy a person." She nodded. Maybe he deserves it. She whispered. Outside, thunder rolled like judgment. That night, Mia walked past the quad, umbrella trembling in the wind. Ethan appeared across the courtyard, half silhouetted beneath a street lamp. Their eyes met, his full of practiced calm, hers filled with quiet defiance. The rain fell harder, drowning out every sound. Neither spoke, but something passed between them, the invisible exchange between hunter and hunted, each uncertain who was which. Ethan's smile had become muscle memory, stretched, empty, automatic. As he walked across campus that morning, he could feel eyes lingering longer than usual. Whispers followed him like shadows, fragments of conversations carried by the wind. In the reflection of every window, he saw his own face staring back, distorted. The golden boy everyone adored was starting to look like a stranger. When he reached the gym doors, he hesitated before stepping inside as though something unseen was waiting for him in the quiet. In Professor Adler's office, the air was heavy with silence. Mia sat rigid in her chair, the flash drive resting between them like evidence in a trial. "You're certain it's him?" Adler asked quietly. She nodded. "Every timestamp leads back to his editing terminal." He exhaled, pressing fingers to his temples. "Then we do this carefully. You don't post it. You don't confront him. You document everything." Mia looked down at the drive, her reflection warped in its metallic surface. "I just keep seeing their faces," she said softly. "They didn't even know they were being watched." That night, Ethan returned to the media lab. The lights buzzed faintly overhead, casting sterile shadows. He locked the door and went straight to his editing console. The folders were gone, but the auto backup cache, the one hidden deep in the system, still existed. Relief mixed with dread as he clicked through the files one by one. But then, as he hovered over a video name, something shifted on the screen. The cursor moved on its own, the file opening without command. His own face filled the monitor, staring into the camera from one of the hidden feeds. Someone had turned the lens back on him. Outside the lab, Mia watched from a hallway corner, her camera steady in trembling hands. Through the narrow window, she could see Ethan's panic unfold. She wasn't recording for glory now. It was proof evidence. Yet, watching him unravel, she felt an unexpected wave of pity. The man who had violated others' privacy was now trapped under the same scrutiny. Her reflection merged with his through the glass, two faces divided by consequence. Later that night, Ethan walked alone through the rain-soaked campus, his mind unraveling. Every window felt like a camera, every reflection an accusation. His phone buzzed, an anonymous message. "We see what you've done." He stopped under a street lamp, drenched and trembling, staring into the empty night. The secret head controlled for months was now out of his hands. Lightning flashed, briefly illuminating his face. A man caught between guilt and terror, realizing his story was no longer his to tell. The news broke before dawn. Phones vibrated across campus, screens lighting up in dorms and hallways. The leak had no source, no watermark, just a string of videos uploaded to the student forum under the title, "Behind the Golden Boy." Each clip revealed Ethan's secret cameras. Bathrooms, locker rooms, private rooms. By sunrise, the story had spread beyond Crestwood. Ethan Cole, campus icon, student president, golden face of unity, was now a headline about betrayal. In his dorm, Ethan scrolled through the comments, his own name trending beside words like predator and voyeur. Every ping from his phone was another notification of disgust. He slammed the device onto the desk, but the glow of the screen refused to die. His reflection stared back from the black mirror of the phone, warped and endless. Outside, faint chants began near the student center. Voices demanding justice. His perfect life had become content for everyone else's feed. Down at the student plaza, Mia stood amid the growing crowd. Posters with Ethan's face were being torn down, shredded, stomped into puddles. Students shouted, some cried. The line between outrage and spectacle blurred. Mia felt the weight of the flash drive in her pocket, the same evidence that had started it all. She wasn't proud. The truth had power, but power had a cost. Jordan found Ethan hours later, sitting alone in the locker room. The sound of dripping water echoed in the stillness. "Tell me it's not true," Jordan whispered. Ethan didn't answer. His eyes were hollow, fixed on the reflection in the steel lockers, himself multiplied, distorted, unrecognizable. "I just wanted control," he murmured. "Just to see everything." Jordan's shoulders slumped. "You saw too much, man. You forgot people were real." That night, the rain returned. Ethan wandered through the empty quad, every poster of his face replaced by blank white sheets. The campus lights glowed faintly through the mist, as if the world itself had turned away. His phone buzzed again. Another notification, another stranger dissecting his life. He let it fall into a puddle, watching the screen flicker, fade, and die. The sound of distant thunder rolled across the sky as his reflection broke apart in the rippling water. The campus had gone silent, emptied by scandal. Posters were gone, classes canceled, cameras turned away. In the quiet of the media lab, Ethan waited, not hiding, just waiting. His eyes were ringed in exhaustion, his hands restless on the edge of the desk where it all began. When Mia entered, the sound of her footsteps echoed like judgment. They didn't speak at first. She stood in the doorway, breath steady, gaze unflinching. For a long moment, they were just two people, caught in the ruins of their choices. "You did this," Ethan finally said, voice rough, almost broken. "You ruined everything." Maya's jaw tightened. "No," she said quietly. "You did." He laughed once, sharp, bitter. "You think exposing me makes you better." She stepped forward, her voice steady. "I didn't do it for better. I did it because it was wrong." For a moment, the air between them trembled with all the things they couldn't unsay. Guilt, anger, pity, truth. Ethan rose from his chair, pacing. "You think anyone will remember the truth? They'll just remember the scandal." His voice cracked on the word. "Do you know what it's like to be watched, judged, dissected?" Mia's gaze softened, her reply barely audible. "Yes, I think I do." The words landed between them like a mirror shattering in slow motion, both of them guilty of wanting to capture, to reveal, to see. "I didn't mean to hurt them," Ethan said finally, voice trembling. "It started as curiosity. Then control. I just wanted to see what people were like when they thought no one was watching." Mia looked at him, not as a monster, but as a human being trapped inside his own need for validation. "That's the problem," she said softly. "Someone's always watching." For the first time, Ethan's composure broke completely. He sat back down, covering his face. When Mia finally turned to leave, Ethan didn't stop her. The rain outside had started again, steady, relentless. "Will you forgive me?" he asked, voice nearly lost to the sound of the storm. She paused at the doorway. "That's not mine to give," she said, and stepped out into the rain. Ethan stayed there, staring at the empty doorway, the faint echo of her footsteps mixing with thunder. He realized too late that this, not the leak, not the scandal, was his punishment. To finally be unseen. Ethan sat on the cold bench outside the dean's office, his name still engraved on the leadership wall across the hallway. Soon, it would be gone. He no longer looked like the boy from the posters, his hair unkempt, eyes hollow, the confidence stripped clean. A secretary called his name, voice soft with pity. Inside, a panel waited with expulsion papers and legal warnings. For the first time, Ethan didn't argue, didn't plead. He simply nodded. The performance was over. Outside, news crews lined the gates. Reporters shouted questions, flashes bursting like artificial lightning. Ethan shielded his face, pushing through the crowd, but the lenses followed him relentlessly. Each step felt heavier, each shout louder, until he stopped fighting. He dropped his hood, looked straight into one camera, and for a heartbeat, smiled. Not out of arrogance, but surrender. The image would follow him forever, but at least it was honest. Days later, Mia sat alone in the newsroom. The screens around her replayed the footage, blurred faces, angry interviews, Ethan's last statement. The thrill of truth had faded into a dull ache. She opened her camera, scrolling through her own photos, each one a piece of someone else's private moment. Her fingers paused over her reflection in the dark lens. For the first time, she saw the line she'd crossed, different from Ethan's, but still a line. The camera had always been her shield, Now it felt like a confession. Outside the journalism building, Professor Adler found Mia sitting on the steps, camera by her side. "You did what had to be done," he said quietly. She nodded, but didn't look up. "Then why doesn't it feel right?" He sighed, glancing at the horizon. "Truth never feels clean. It just stays." Mia looked at the fading sunlight washing the quad in orange and gold, the same place where Ethan once stood adored. The world had moved on, but something of him lingered in the air, like the afterimage of a flash. Night fell over Crestwood, calm and merciful. In the media lab, now sealed and empty, a monitor flickered to life, an automated playback, looping through old footage. Campus games, speeches, laughter. Among them, a frame froze. Ethan on stage, smiling at the crowd. Then the screen glitched, fracturing his face into pixels before fading to black. Across town, Mia sat by her dorm window, her camera on the table, facing her. The lens caught her reflection in silence, a reminder that the watcher and the watched are never truly separate.